What's up, everybody? Can you hear me okay? Everything looking good? Let's see, we got a whole bunch of folks already jumping into the chat. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. You get me in place of the Hudson Valley Squares tonight. Hope that's okay. What's up, Mark? What's up, John? Kyle, Jose? What's happening, my man? Kyle, Mike Ryan, Eric Cotter, Jason. What's going on? Hope everybody's doing good, agitation free. What a great man, huh? If everybody can make sure you click on that like button and give me some thumbs up if you can hear me okay, see me okay, all that good stuff. Robert, Jojo, Dark Anubis, Matt, Kyle, Robert, what's going on, everybody? How are you? There we see some thumbs. Yeah, smash that like button. Thank you, iHomer. I appreciate it. Guys, I can't stress it enough. Please, any video you're on, Sea of Tranquility, whether you're in the chat or watching it afterwards, please click the like button. All right, I see 72 people watching, only 31 likes. Get that up to 80. We got 80 people on board now. Let's get that. Click that like button. Click that thumbs up button. There we go. What's happening, people? What's new, everybody, out there in the rock world, the music world? Man, I was just looking up, I don't know, I was just looking up Deep Purple on some stuff lately. We've got, of course, we didn't really talk about it much on the channel. So we had Steve Morse announced his, leaving the band to help care for his wife, who's very, very ill with cancer. And he officially leaves the band after 28 years. So it's kind of weird. No Steve Morse and Deep Purple for the first time in a long, long time. Simon McBride, who was filling in for Steve on the tour, I guess, now is the official new guitarist for Deep Purple. I guess from a couple of the clips I've seen, he looks like he's done a pretty damn good job. I don't really know much about him. So, maybe when they come back to the States again at some point, I'll go check them out once again to see them with Simon McBride. So, all right, what do we got? Zebra album ranking from Chive's Archives. What do they got? 3 albums. I have a greatest hit set. That's all I got. So the first album is great. The other stuff is okay. Have I been playing guitar? A little bit here and there. Not a ton when I have time. Do I think I could get Steve Morse back on the show from Skullsaw? Well, to be honest with you, I don't think now's the right time. Maybe when, things calm down a little bit in Steve's life, and I want to have respect towards him and his wife through this really tough time they're going through. So I don't think now's the time. Someday, hell yeah, I'd love to have Steve Morse back on the channel because Steve was an incredible guest, and I am a big fan. So I would love to have him back on again. From Gabriel, how did the name Sea of Tranquility come? Well, if you've watched the history of Sea of Tranquility episode we did a while back here on the channel, that was the name of our original magazine. We had a Sea of Tranquility magazine back in the 90s. I did not create the name. That was our former editor, James Bickers, came up with the name Sea of Tranquility. It's got something to do with, the moon and all that stuff. It wasn't my name, so I didn't come up with it, but it has stuck after all these years. So I never once thought to change it. And now, 25 years later, we still use it. So what else we got here? Loving the Birthborn record. Thanks for recommendation. You got it, Jimmy. Great album. Really good album. Make sure you listen to those two, the 2 albums that came before it. Astra, okay, the band that Birth kind of morphed from Astra. They have 2 albums, kind of very similar, so check those out as well. I want to dive into Dream Theater from John Fargo. Yeah, well, you should. A lot of great Dream Theater albums. One of my favorite bands. Love them. Let's see. Have you heard the new 2022 remaster of Stardust We Are by Flower Kings? I have not. I think the original sounds damn good. I don't know why they're remastering that already. George Lemmy's in the house. Sal Randazzo's in the house. What's up, people? Logan's Mosh Pit. What's the furthest distance you've ever traveled for a concert? Believe it or not that far. Boston, Massachusetts. Probably the farthest I've ever gone to see a show. And I saw like G3 there. I saw The Who there. That's probably about it. God, man, what do we got? We got almost 200 people on here right now. Guys, slow down with the comments here or with the questions because I'm only one person. Another Dennis DeYoung interview would be awesome. Well, I mean, that wasn't that long ago, and I did have him for over 2 hours, and I don't know how he is that much more to talk about since then, but maybe down the line somewhere. Have you heard any black metal records over the past couple of years you really like, Pete? Over the last couple of years? I mean, I've heard a lot of black metal, but unfortunately, I think most of the black metal I've heard that I really like tends to be from the bands, the veteran black metal bands, because there's just too much other stuff. There's so much underground black metal. I tend to go back to the Mayhem records, to the Enslaved stuff, to Immortal. Those bands that are still pumping out new stuff. I haven't heard the new Satira Khan. But there are a lot of really solid black metal records from the legendary veteran black metal bands. But there's just so many other new bands that are popping up. I can't keep up with it. It's so much. Let's see. What do we got here? What do we got? Can we rank the Anthrax studio discography together? From Matt Horan. Are you asking you and I? Well, Matt, I don't even know who you are. I understand you're a reviewer. I'm not a huge Anthrax fan, to be honest with you. I liked them a lot more back in the 80s. I don't really listen to Anthrax much at all anymore. I probably could rank the albums pretty quickly for you. But I'm not much of a fan anymore, unfortunately. Where do you find out about all the horror DVD releases? Is there a specific website? No, I just I sign up for a lot of like email newsletters from a lot of the Blu-ray DVD companies like Arrow, like Shout Factory, like Vanilla Syndrome, all that stuff. So Vinegar Syndrome, not Vanilla Syndrome. So I get firsthand information on a lot of the new releases that are coming out because I sign up for the newsletter from all of them. And those are a lot of the companies that are releasing the really cool stuff on Blu-ray and DVD. Pavlov's Dog Ranking from Captain Beyond. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, Cap. I have those first two albums, and I really like those a lot. They have a few others that came out way after that. I haven't heard any of those. So I could probably go listen to them fairly quickly, but from what I've heard, the first two are where it's all at. So I don't want to just review those two and rank those two when they have more. So they're here. I'll get to them at some point. What else we got here? Hey, Pete, top 4 Marvel supervillains you'd pick to form a team. From Craig Kaminsky. What's up, Craig? Let's see. How's this for a super team? Let's see. Rhino, Juggernaut. I like the heavy hitter guys. Rhino, Juggernaut, Abomination, and let's get one more in there. One more big one. Man, put me on the spot. How about the Wrecker? There you go. There's 4 of them. From Marshall Corley, you said you and Martin have actually never met in person. One wonders why. Well, he lives in Canada. I live in New York. He doesn't come down here often. I've never been to Canada. So there you have it. But we will be meeting in person in exactly 2 months from today at Sea of Tranquility Fall Fest for the first time in many years. Like I said, I know Martin virtually for a long time. We've never met in person. From Skullslaw, Pete Pardo, do you see Deep Purple making another album without Steve Morse? I would hate to think that their covers album is going to be their last. I would bet that they will put out another album. They've been fairly prolific over the last decade with putting out new releases. So I think we're still going to see more Deep Purple in the months and years ahead. Have I heard the new singles from Megadeth? They're pretty killer, in my opinion, from Dark Animus. I did hear the one. I actually really like it. I heard the one with Ice-T. Not big on the Ice-T contribution, but I think the song is really, really good. So I dig it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Thanks, Gary Stuckey. Love the channel. Very cool. Let's see. Jiff got a question here. Agree on your thoughts on the Flower Kings, Pete, which brings back another question. When is enough enough? I already bought the Kingdom of Colors box set, and then the Flower Kings announced this. The Flower King remasters. For me, remastering stuff that's like 15, 20 years old is a little ridiculous. I get remastering stuff that's 30, 40, 50 years old, but yeah, it seems like every other week there's a new remix, there's a new remaster, something. You can only buy catalog so many times. For me, it's like, unless it's a band I really, really love and they're giving me something extra, not just a remaster, they're giving this bonus tracks, cool packaging, live stuff, all that sort of thing. then it's a lot easier to get my cash, right? To get that cash from me. But I'm not just going to keep buying re-release after re-release after re-release unless there's something grabbing me there, and unless it's a band that I really like. But I can't tell you how many times I have rebought parts of the Yes catalog, the Jethro Tull catalog, the Rush catalog, the Black Sabbath catalog, the Led Zeppelin catalog. It's like over and over and over again. It's like at some point it's like, enough. I should have picked the Mole Man. Yeah, I love the Mole Man, but I was looking to go for 4 like big heavy hitters, really, really powerful ones. That's what I went for there. Could have put the Destroyer in there, Thor's villain as well. Let's see. Thoughts on Henry Cow? I mean, I dig Henry Cow from Acknowledging Our Discontent. They're not always an easy listen, but it's not a big catalog. There's some really interesting music there. I actually have them on a long list of bands to rank their catalog. So that'll be coming at some point in time. Let's see. Wayne Pimentel. Pete, I have tickets to see Petrucci, Portnoy, and LaRue in Boston. Are you interested in that show? Yeah, I'm interested, but the New York show is literally like the week before the Maiden show, the week before I go away to the 24-hour Horathon weekend in Pennsylvania. It's just too much happening at one time, so I'm probably not going to go see that. Let's see. According to the stuff I read online, Deep Purple is currently preparing for another album. Yeah, I would assume so. So yeah. Is your favorite Zepp song still The Rover from C. Lee? I think so. If it's not my number 1, it's my number 2. What else we got here? Peter, you going to see Porcupine Tree? Right now I have no plans to go see Porcupine Tree. Who asked that question? I Homer. Yeah, it's just a matter of other concerts I'm already committed to, lots going on, and Porcupine Tree tickets being very expensive. I've seen them before. Would I like to? Sure. But we'll see. Did you see FM at Nearfest in 2006? Yes, I did. I was there. Very, very cool. I was at every Nearfest up until I saw the first 1999. I saw 7 in a row. So in fact, that was my last Nearfest that I went to in 2006. Let's see. How about a show ranking every Dream Theater epic track? Man, that's a lot of epic tracks, man. I mean, we've done shows on epic tracks in general, and some of our favorite epic tracks. I think some Dream Theater stuff has shown up there, but it's an idea. Let's see. What else we got here? From Armando, would you pick up the Marillion Holidays in Eden Deluxe set? Armando, I don't know if I'm going to get that one. Holidays in Eden is not one of my favorite Marillion albums. Season's End, I probably absolutely will, and I should have gotten like 1 or 2 others, but I don't know if I'm going to get Holidays in Eden. I don't need all the Marillion box sets, but the ones I really, really like, I'm certainly going to consider doing that. From Alex Suarez, hey Pete, will you share the highlights of your big event in New York via YouTube? If you mean like a kind of a show like this where we talk about everything that went down, absolutely. We are not recording or streaming this event. However, I know tons of people have brought it up where it's just there's a lot of complicated things that need to be done in order to be able to stream an event with bands who all have different rights and copyright issues and things that they want. And quite frankly, there was enough going on behind the scenes to get everybody to agree to play this show, to put this all on, to get the venue, and to add to add a possible record and streaming option. We just didn't want to go there this time around. We'll see how this goes. Maybe in the future, we'll see if we decide to do more of these. But for now, it was enough trying to get this created and set up without having to add that into it as well. Trust me, that is a whole other ball game right there. Let's see what else we got here. Have you heard the new Tony Martin album, Thorns? Yes, Sir Boomer Lord. You have not been paying attention here on the channel because we reviewed it back when it first came out. So if you look here on the channel, do a search, you will find a review of the new Tony Martin album. I absolutely dig it a lot. Let's see what else. From Michael Easter, which of your guitars is your number 1? Well, that kind of changes fairly often, but I would say probably my Gold Top Les Paul traditional, my Gibson Les Paul traditional Gold Top. It's an amazing guitar. It sounds great. The neck is amazing. That's probably my number one most of the time. I think my Les Paul Standard is probably my number two. I dig those quite a bit. I am enjoying the Paul Reed Smith quite a bit, and those are probably my three favorites at the moment. But I love my Strat, love the Telly, love the SG, love them all. But I think, those two Les Pauls are probably my favorites. I do have a Les Paul Classic as well. It's got a 50s neck on it, which is really, really thick. I don't like that one as much as the other two, but it looks amazing. How many T-shirts do I have? I have no idea. I haven't counted them. But if you're interested, I actually did a series of, I think, 5 or 6 videos like a year ago where I showed off all of my music and band T-shirts. This is a Sea of Tranquility shirt. And if you haven't seen those, they were a lot of fun. I just basically pull them all out of the closet and the drawers, and I show them off one by one. So I didn't bother counting them that day. But if you want to go ahead and watch those and then put a counter to it, let me know how many I have. I don't know. It's a few hundred. It's quite a few of them. From Elijah Lovell, our box set's too much. I think they're cool, but I'm fine with just the albums. Again, I don't mind box sets as long as they give you something other than just the songs and shit that we already have, right? There's nothing worse than getting a box set and it's like, all right, I have all this fucking stuff already, right? But live tracks, B-sides, rare stuff, a booklet, a poster, a replica of a tour program, that sort of thing, I'm all in. Extra stuff. It's got to be extra stuff. I don't want to box set things I already have because they take up a lot of room, and how often am I going to go back and listen to that? So it's got to have some interesting stuff there. What are your favorite progressive death metal bands? Oh, like Obscura, probably easily my favorite. And there's others, but they're like so head and shoulders above everybody else. What else? What else we got here? Let me just see. Have I heard Angel City, legendary band from Australia? Robbie, I have not. Never heard this. There's apparently a lot of bands in Australia that most of us here in North America have never heard before. That's one of them. Any opinions on the upcoming Animals by Pink Floyd reissue coming up? It's just a new remix and should have included the work in progress versions with the deluxe edition, in my honest opinion, from the Terrence Reardon podcast. I mean, if it's not too expensive, would I love to hear an interesting, cool remix of Animals? Sure. Would I have liked something else in addition to that? Just like I said before, I love Animals. My favorite Pink Floyd album. It's not even close. So I probably will be convinced enough to buy it because I think, I'm interested to hear how it sounds. But, man, it would be nice if it was like a 2-disc set and had some live stuff on there or something cool. Thoughts on Ticketmaster dynamic pricing from Marshall Gorley? I'm not really sure what dynamic pricing is. I just know the Ticketmaster pricing in general is a ripoff. Those guys have some racket, and the older I'm getting, the less and less I want to give them money. I'll leave it at that. Let's see. Am I going to see Priest and Queensryche coming up this fall? I'm actually not. I just saw Priest in March. In fact, I got COVID at the Priest Queensryche show in March. And then I saw Priest 3 other times at the first leg of this long tour they've been doing. I saw them in Albany with Uriah Heep. I saw them in New Jersey with Saxon and Black Star Riders. And I saw them in Bethel Woods here in New York with Deep Purple. So I've seen them 4 times in the last 3 years. I don't need to go see them again right now. I'll wait. If they come out with another album and do another tour, playing the new stuff, I'll go. I love Queensryche, but I just saw them with Queensryche, and Queensryche were amazing. So I'm going to sit this one out. Plus, again, it's like the same time the Maiden's coming around. I'm going to that. Same time as a bunch of other things. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to sit this one out this time around. Let's see. Could you stream the first half of the fest where it's mostly Q&A and such for Moonstar? Like I said, probably not. And it's going to be real, we're going to do, it's basically going to be just a half hour, 45-minute Q&A with the Hudson Valley Squares, with in the Prague seat, and Martin Popoff and myself. So it's going to be basically, this fest is going to be for the folks in attendance. If we do it again next year, we'll probably do it, make this a little bit more interactive for those who can't make it. But for right now, getting camera crews and sound, all that kind of stuff for that, we just decided not to do that this year. So again, I apologize to those who can't make it, who really wanted to be there virtually, but we'll try again next year. We'll see how this goes, and then we'll see what happens. Let's see. From John Dinkeldine, in the Prague seat, guys. Hello, you guys are serious inspirations for me. Cool. Do we have other In the Proxy folks here on the call? I'm sure we do. Robert Dendoven, have you seen Renaissance live, like at a Near Fest? If you so, how many times? I saw Renaissance at the Egg in Albany, New York, about 6-7 years ago, something like that. They were amazing. Annie still has it. The band were wonderful. They played all the songs I wanted to hear. That was quite good. From Elijah Love L. Pete, are you a fan of Behemoth? Yeah, I like Behemoth. I've been listening to Behemoth for a long time. Really good band. Yeah, the last couple albums have been really good, but I really like some of their mid-period stuff. But all their albums, I don't think they've ever released a stinker album. Really cool band. Lots of energy. Brutal. Nice mix between black metal and death metal. Very cool band. I don't always get into their lyrical content because sometimes they're a little overboard with all that kind of anti-Christian stuff. But musically, they're amazing. I've met Nurgle. He's a really nice guy. So what else we got here? Why is 70s band Big Star rarely discussed on classic rock channels? I have no idea. You'd have to ask all the other channels. I got a Big Star compilation. Good band. I don't have any of their albums, though, other than that. So I like what I've heard, though. Do you like the band Head East? Yes, I do. I have, 3 of their albums, I think. Really good. Like what I've heard. Let's see. In Rock versus Rainbow Rising. Tough to pick. Both are amazing. They are. I'm going to go In Rock, though. But Rainbow Rising, as you know, is legendary. Hey, Pete. Hold on. What? Oh, geez, man. I click on here, and it's all of a sudden 30. Hey, from Joe Lemire. Hey, Pete, do you know who was in Pat Travers' band at Fall Fest, and can you recommend any recent Travers albums from the last 25 years or so? I believe it's Pat Travers and David Pastorius, who is Jaco Pastorius's nephew, on bass. I don't know who's playing drums. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy who's playing with them for a while. They have a new album coming out, like in a couple of weeks. So there is a new Pat Travers album coming out. He's released, some live stuff. He did like a jazz album a couple of years back, which was really good. And a lot of blues albums and like albums with special guests and things like that. So, the Pat Travers stuff over the last 25 years has been a little hit or miss for me. But when you go see them live, man, they always kill it. And I've heard like this new one that's coming out is supposed to be really good, kind of like a back to roots type of thing. So definitely stay tuned for that. How about ranking Japanese horror on Monsters Den from Ron Barkowiak? Honestly, I haven't seen enough Japanese horror, to be honest with you, other than like old school Japanese, monster movies. I know there's tons of Japanese horror that comes out all the time. I haven't seen enough of it or much of it at all. So I would have to check with the other Monsters Den crew. I don't know if they're that up on Japanese horror either. So that's something we'd have to check into. What about In the Psych Seat spinoff, modern and classic psych bands, or a psych-leaning prog show? I don't know. I would have to, most of the folks who are on In the Prog Seat, other than maybe Ken Golden, I don't know how much into psychedelic music they really are. So that's something that I'd have to investigate. And my knowledge of psych is, I know some psych stuff, but I wouldn't say that I'm a pro on, modern or classic psych, other than some of the usual suspects. Rick Labonte is in the house. What's going on, Rick? Will you ever do a monthly show on the top jazz fusion of all time? Well, I don't know if I need to do a monthly show on that because I've already done like in-depth shows on my top jazz fusion albums of the 70s, and George Lemay and I did one for the 80s. So I don't know if a monthly show makes much sense. We do a show every Friday, but not every Friday, once a month on the first Friday of every month called For Fusion Friday. Have you seen that show? That's basically all we talk about is fusion on there. New stuff, classic stuff. So I would advise you check that out. That'll be coming up this Friday, as a matter of fact. So do I like Corrosion of Conformity from Pierre? Yes, I do. I like Corrosion quite a bit, actually. Have you ever seen William Friedkin's The Guardian? Very underrated horror film from Metal Thrashing Madman. I do not believe I've seen The Guardian. I've seen quite a few of his films. I don't believe I've seen that one. Let's see. From Thomas R. Don Felder, Bernie Leadon, or Joe Walsh? As a guitarist? Well, Don Felder's a terrific guitar player. I think, though, Joe Walsh is the complete package. A terrific guitar player, an entertainer, a good songwriter, and a very unusual but very good singer. So, I mean, personally, my favorite is Joe Walsh. I think Joe Walsh is amazing. Am I a Christian? from Jackson Jones. I am Catholic. I was born and raised Catholic. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a practicing Catholic. I don't go to church. I don't really find a lot of room for religion in my life, to be honest with you. I know my mother hates to hear that, but because she is a very, very devout Catholic. But yeah, I mean, do I believe in God? Yeah, all that kind of stuff. But I tend to not like to discuss stuff like that because it's my own personal opinions on things. But yeah, no, I'm a Catholic. Born and raised a Catholic, but I'm not really a practicing Catholic. Let's see. It seems most, if not all, of the guys on In the Prog Seat are musicians themselves. Is there a way to listen to music they've created? Well, actually, that's not true, actually. The only one on In the Prog Seat who is actually a current performing musician is Louis Nasser, who is in a number of different bands. George Lemay was a drummer for many, many years, but I don't believe George is playing in any bands right now. I don't play in any bands or anything like that. I don't believe anybody else on In the Prog Seat is a musician. So the rest of us are just all real big music fans, music nerds, I should say. Let's see. What are some of your favorite movies that you've seen that have come out in the last 10 years? Tough question to answer, I know, from Ethan's Beer and Vinyl Reviews. Yeah, I mean, some of my favorite, you guys know what I like, right? I like horror, I like sci-fi, I like superhero stuff. So I don't know, the Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame films are terrific. Oh, man, the last 10 years, though, geez. I'd have to really look at, release date. I'd have to sit and turn around because I've got movies that I really love, I buy. So, yeah, I'd have to really think about that. There's a lot of them. What else we got here? I'm surprised Cheap Trick's albums haven't been ranked yet from Meat Juice. Yeah, I mean, here's the issue. They got 1 million albums. I have 5 of them. That's the issue right there. So it's I've got all the 70s albums, maybe 1 or 2 in the 80s. I maybe have more than 5. And I think I've got 1 or 2 that they've released over the last 25 years. That's the problem. They've got so many albums. It's just one of those bands that I just didn't keep up with, religiously over the years. That's the reason. What are some good albums to get into Miles Davis from Eric Lopez? Eric, I would suggest you go watch our ranking the albums of Miles Davis, or our top 10 favorite. We did a couple of episodes. We did one on all his 50s releases, and a top 10 and a top 10 of his 60s and his fusion period, the 60s and 70s era. I would say if you want somewhere to go to get an idea of where to start on Miles Davis, that's your best bet. I mean, I could throw some titles at you: Bitches Brew, Jack Johnson, Live Evil, Sketches of Spain, In a Silent Way, Kind of Blue. I mean, I could just rattle them all off. But your best bet is to go watch those shows because we really get in depth there. Have I seen the revamped Angel? I have not. They actually played at the Chance in Poughkeepsie a couple of years ago, and I wasn't around when they were playing. So, what else we got? What about a top 5 favorite albums from John Wetton with the In the Prog Seat guys? Yeah, we could possibly do that. He's played on 1 million albums, right? Cheap Trick is great. Come on. I never said they weren't, right? Just they got so many albums and I don't got them all. That's what it comes down to. Do you like the band Fanny, the first all-female rock band? I haven't heard enough from them. What I have heard has been pretty good, though. Yeah. What about family-friendly movies that scare the crap out of you? Disney's Watcher in the Woods. I don't think any family-friendly film scared the crap out of me, although Poltergeist was kind of chilling at the time, I guess, right? Do I like the band Hardline? I think I've only heard their first 2 albums, which is pretty good. I know they've got a bunch since then. I just never kept up with them. Let's see. From Teddy Bates, do you think the Van Halen tribute will come to fruition? Teddy, I have no idea. I would hope so. I mean, I think it would be a fun thing to do, but I'm sure there's a lot of red tape going on behind the scenes. For Mr. Evan, thoughts on Walter Becker's solo work? Personally, I believe they're some of the best albums to have ever come out. I am behind the times in getting those because I'm a big Steely Dan fan. I only just got all the Donald Fagen albums within the last 2 years, so I need to get Walter's solo stuff as well. What else we got here? Let's see. Thoughts? Can you do a Beavis and Butthead impression from Robert Sparling? Yeah. That's all you get. Have you checked out Gabe Still? That's the hack. Oh, let's see. Cheers from Brazil. Do you have any idea of how much of your viewers are located outside North America? From Rodrigo Alves. The bulk of our viewers are, because we do get the analytics, the bulk are from here in the United States. I think it's like 60%. We have almost equal from Canada and the UK. And that makes up another, like, I don't know, 25, 30%. And then the rest is spread all over the world. So we do get some from South America. We get quite a bit from the APAC, the Far East and whatnot. So, it's but the bulk is from the US, Canada, and the UK. Let's see, whatever. Mark Furu. I turned 40 tomorrow. I'm getting deeper into the German Teutonic thrash right now. Any recommendations for other bands besides Creator, Sodom, Destruction, and Tankard? Well, I mean, those are the best right there, obviously. God, what other German thrash bands would I recommend? I mean, geez, those are the biggies. Yeah. There's probably a lot of smaller ones, which, of course, I'm drawing a blank on right now, but there are big catalogs for all of them. So if you have all of their albums already, well, then I guess you got to do a little search in there. But there's plenty to listen to for those particular bands. Let's see. Isn't Rick Labonte a musician? Yes, Rick Labonte is. Sorry, I didn't mention Rick before. Rick Labonte, who appears on all sorts of shows here on the channel. Yes, he is a musician. There are plenty of musicians who appear on the channel here. Do you like the new King's X song, Let It Rain? Absolutely. It's a little bit different, but I do like it. A little mellower than I would have thought, but it's actually listened to it a couple times. It's like pretty good. Completely breaking down your YouTube analytics would be a really interesting show, from Robert Kramer. Perhaps. You guys would probably be surprised, because the bulk of the viewers are male, and I mean bulk by like 95%. And the vast majority are between the ages of 45 and 70. And that's the vast majority. We do have, surprisingly enough, I think we have more young viewers in like the teenage, up to 20, than we do like in the 25 to 35 range, which is really interesting. Let's see. Pete, do you think that Rainbow on Stage was put out way too prematurely? From Alan Joyce. No, I don't think it was put out too prematurely. I just think it should have been longer, and maybe less, long bluesy jams and more actual songs. But I think it came out at the right time. That band was at the height of their powers, because the thing is, if they would have waited, that lineup is already broken up. Richie had already disbanded that particular lineup. So I think I'm glad that On Stage came out when it did, because we got the Rainbow Rising lineup. I just think that the song selection and what we got, could have been a little bit different. But it's great for what it is. Let's see. From Kyle Hommel, probably not in your wheelhouse, but have you heard the new Chili Peppers album? Nope, not my wheelhouse. I have not listened to the Chili Peppers in probably like 20 years, probably more, actually. I got tired of that band really, really quick. I was into them in like the late 80s, early mid 90s, but then I was like, enough for me. Let's see. Ian Gillan is nowhere near as good as David Coverdale from Damon 79. Well, do you mean now or all time? I love them both, as you know. So Ian is probably my all-time favorite singer by just a little bit over Coverdale. But as far as how they sing today, I think they're both kind of in the same ballpark today. They both have seen their better days. They both can still admirably go out and do it. And they both sound really good on album, but live, they struggle a bit. But, they're both, God, Coverdale, I think, is just turning 70, and Ian is in his mid-70s. So, got to give these two guys a little bit slack there. Yeah, Running Wild as another German thrash band. Thank you, K Diamond. I totally forgot about them. What do you think of Burzum and the old black metal bands from the Kivster? I never really got much into Burzum for a lot of different reasons, but I love the old guard of black metal. I love Emperor and Immortal and Mayhem and, all those classic bands. That when that stuff came out, that was fresh and new and exciting back then. And granted, I know a lot of people don't dig that kind of stuff who watch the channel for various reasons, but I think the legendary acts of the black metal scene from the early mid 90s, that's some pretty special stuff right there. Let's see. From Asarak, Pete, do you like Gohor? Yeah, pretty good band. I've seen them live a couple times. They're kind of fun, right? Kind of like this weird mix of like, God, what do you even call Goatwhore? It's like kind of black metal, kind of thrash, kind of death metal hybrid with like a Louisiana thing going on. Very, very interesting band. Coverdale got hotter chicks. Yes, Coverdale got all the chicks. Come on, he was the man back in the day. Do I think the 70s archival Rainbow Live albums are better than On Stage from the Kipster? Probably. You know what? I think that On Stage captures, I think, an amazing performance by that lineup, right? Because the performances on there are spectacular. It's got some of my favorite playing from Richie, and Dio sounds immense on that album. But I think like the Live in Germany, and there's a couple of those releases that came out, a bunch of years ago from that same tour, I think are better because they represent more of what that lineup can do. They, some of them have, Stargazer and other things. So I think, if you stack them all up next to each other, they might be a little stronger because they give you a little more, a little bit less of the jamming, more actual songs. So from Mr. Evan, my thoughts on Mr. Bungle. Not really for me. I like some chaotic, odd, and weird music. But Mr. Bungle, and I like Mike Patton a lot, and there are moments where I like Mr. Bungle, but sometimes after like listening to them for like 20 minutes or more, it makes my head hurt. So, but I know a lot of people love them. Let's see, what else we got here? Anything new albums out there this year that you've been surprised by and played more than you thought you would? Well, that's a great question. Let me open up my best of 2022 document, which I keep a best of every year. All right. And let's see if there's anything on this list that really, really impressed me that I didn't expect to as I'm going down the list. Well, I tell you, I really like Jethro Tull, the Zealot Gene. I think a lot more than I thought I was going to. That's been really good. Got to give props to Rick Labante's Living It Up, right? So it's really cool when an album by a friend of yours comes out and really impresses you, and it's a double album. So if you guys haven't heard Living It Up by Rick Labonte, please get in touch with him and get yourself a copy. Really, really good. Let's see, what else do we got here? You know what? I really dig Scorpions' Rock Believer. I have been really down on the Scorpions over the last like 25, 30 years. And Rock Believer is a lot of fun. I don't hail it as a classic like some people have, but I think it's really, really good. It's really enjoyable. Steve Vai's and Violate is great. It's the best thing he's done in many, many years. What else we got here? The stuff that I think I'm trying to go for stuff that I think surprised me by how much I liked it. Ty Tabor from King's X, his new album Shades, terrific, really, really good. What else? Things that jumped out at me. Ann Wilson's Fierce Bliss. I shouldn't really be surprised because it's Ann Wilson. I love Heart, but I was kind of disappointed with Nancy's solo album. I'd rather hear them together, but if they're going to do things separately, I think Ann's really kind of knocked me out. I thought it was really, really good. What else? Yeah, I mean, a lot of the other stuff that's on my list, I kind of expected to like. I like the iconic album Second Sin, right, that little kind of super group thing that's out. That's quite good. You know what? The new Porcupine Tree, I think. I really had no expectations for that. It's pretty damn good. The new Creator, Hate Uber Alice, is amazing. I've heard from some people they're ambivalent about it. They like it. They're like, it's okay. I've been listening to it nonstop for the last couple of weeks. I think it's really, really good. So that's some of the stuff that I think has surprised me this year. But I had a lot of other things that I knew I was going to like, and they lived up to the billing. Let's see. What else we got here? From Jeff Dow, did you get the Twin Peaks series after Mike Portnoy praised it so highly on David Lynch's Monsters Den episode? Yeah, I mean, I have it. I just have not had a time to watch it. Me and watching series is a hard thing to do these days. So I need. My guess is I probably won't tackle that until the fall or the winter time because in the summertime I just don't watch a lot of TV. I watch my Met games whenever I can. I watch movies that I got to review on, or talk about on the Monsters Den. I watch some new movies that I buy, and I occasionally watch some of the, the Marvel series or, Better Call Saul is on in 20 minutes and a couple other things here and there. But I need to just sit down with the Twin Peaks box set that I got and just rampage through the whole thing. It'll happen. Trust me. Let's see. Favorite Met from the 1986 team. From Anthony Ferrara. What's up, Anthony? At the time, probably Darryl Strawberry or Keith Hernandez or Gary Carter. Those were my favorites. Looking back now, all these years, man, it's like, Carter and Keith were the heart and soul of that team. And it's just a shame that Gary's not with us anymore. But, the more time goes on, the more I really appreciate Keith Hernandez for, being the leader of that team and such a great first baseman, a damn good hitter. And he's like, I love him as a broadcaster. So that's probably my favorite Met from the 86 team. From Zach Attack, do you like Carcass? Yes, indeedy. I probably need to do a Carcass ranking at some point, right? Yeah, I know. What else? From Jose, Peter, you're familiar with the Ukrainian band Carphagen? I've heard of them, never listened to a lick of their music. From Pulsar Lights, is Roger Daltrey's voice finally done? Well, you know what? I talked to a lot of people that saw The Who here at Bethel Woods, 2 months ago or whatever, or a month ago, whenever that was. And they said he sounded great. I've seen The Who many times in more recent years, and some shows he sounds really good. Other shows, it's a little iffy. I would think for a guy who's almost 80 years old, I think he sounds pretty good. Is he the Roger Daltrey of old? No, of course not. None of these guys are what they were, unless you're Glenn Hughes, right? Or Paul Rogers. None of these guys are able to hit it like they used to do. But I think Roger's still been able to sing in this late stage, I think is really good. Let's see. From Debbie Moncrief. Pete, I listened to Mastodon today. I really like them. Thank you for the suggestion. Can't wait until tomorrow's show. Awesome, Debbie. I love to hear that. Yeah, Mastodon are great. Hopefully you folks tune in every day to this new show we're doing each and every day throughout the month of August, where I'm going to recommend some, my favorite bands of the 21st century. And hopefully you'll find some new bands to check out there. Let's see. Hey, Pete, I always wanted to ask you, what is that thing that hangs on your wall behind your guitars that has a gremlin-looking face? That is some weird little thing that my brother brought back from Greece. I don't know if you guys can see it. There it is right there. Right. How do I do that? Hold on. All right. There it is. It's like some kind of Greek mask, but it's made out of some kind of ceramic something or other. But it's pretty wacky looking. I've had it forever. He and his wife, my sister-in-law, went to Greece. God, did they go for their honeymoon or before they got married? I don't even remember. But that's what he brought me back. So it's pretty cool. So it's been hanging on my wall ever since. Let's see. P. Shaw, Gillen screaming and wailing annoys me. No! How can that be? No! Man, that's Ian in his prime, man. No one was like him. Let's see. What else? I love Gillen and Coverdale, but Coverdale is just amazing. Yeah, well, Coverdale's the man, right? They're both amazing. Coverdale, you know what it is? Ian is now the elder statesman guy, whereas Coverdale is still the cool guy. Coverdale is like the king of cool. From Stefan Wall, maybe a ranking of the Big Elf albums. Yes. Are they disbanded forever? I don't know, because Damon is now playing in the Cult, which I just found out. I saw them a week or so ago, and they never introduced anybody on stage, and that was him on keyboards and backing vocals. But I love Big Elf. Rick Labonte and I are planning on ranking the albums of Big Elf, so stay tuned for that when we can squeeze it in. Let's see. For the music Aspie, I've already got into loads of new bands from this channel. This new monthly show is going to cripple my mind and maybe cripple your wallet, right? Well, there are worse things to spend your money on, right? Any David Bowie live albums you recommend or is your favorite? Keep doing what you're doing, Pete. Love the channel. Thanks, Neil. I only have one, I think, David Bowie live album, and that's the classic one, Hello David, or whatever it's called, from the 70s. So I'm probably not the right person to ask about all the David live albums. From Zach Attack, what gauge of strings do you prefer to use? I either have 9s or 10s on most of mine. So I've got 10s on the Strat and the Telly. I've got, I've got one Les Paul with 9s. I got 9s on the Flying V. I've got 10s on the SG. Those are 10s on the Paul Reed Smith. So it all depends. A lot of times I prefer 9s just because they're lighter. At least I used to when I was younger. Now I don't mind 10s at all. It kind of depends. I try to keep different gauge strings on all of them. I don't have all the same on all of them. Let's see. Could I interview Eric Gillette, please? Well, you guys got to understand, doing interviews is not as easy as it seems, right? There's usually a lot of things that you have to go through to get people on the channel here. But in many cases, once I pester them enough, they usually are very happy to come on. So Eric Gillette, I would love to talk to him. Let me talk to Mike Portnoy next time I chat with him and see if we can make that happen. From Jesse Mullen, would you guys consider a Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers rankings of the album episode? Well, it's your lucky day. Well, not today, but that's coming. All right? That's coming. I was never sure I was going to do Tom Petty ranking, but I said, you know what? I'll do it. So that's coming at some point, alongside all sorts of other stuff. You guys are going to be ranking probably this weekend, going to be ranking the albums of a very cool band called Halen, kind of like a hard rock prog metal band. I'm also doing All Them Witches fairly soon as well. All sorts of stuff. A lot of ranking shows coming up. A lot of ranking shows. Rick Labonte and I are going to do Flying Colors as well. I'm going to be doing a ranking the solo albums of Derek Sherinian, keyboard extraordinaire, with George Lemmy and Eric Porter. That's coming up in the next couple of weeks. So there's a lot of things happening. Joe Bonamassa, we're going to doing that with Rick as well. So yeah, a lot of stuff coming up. Let's see. From BP, Pete, what's the favorite show that you do? Man, I don't really have a favorite show. I like doing them all. It's like saying, what's your favorite kid or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I like doing them all. I mean, they're all fun for me. They're all a lot of fun for me. If they're not fun, I don't do them anymore. That's how it goes. But they're all a lot of fun. The friends I made on Sea of Tranquility are just amazing, and I love spending time with them, even though it is just on Zoom. We don't really see each other in person, but yeah, and the prog seat is a blast. The UK connection, I laugh so hard every week with Simon and Steven. I love my brothers and sisters on the Hudson Valley Squares. They're all fun. They're all lots of fun, and I love doing them all, so it's hard to say. Ash Bowen, how about a ranking of the Darkness albums? I have never owned or listened to any Darkness albums. I've heard songs here and there, so probably not on that. From the Zavler, do I listen to stoner rock? Yeah, I listen to a bunch of stoner bands, but there's a million of them. But I do listen to quite a few of them. Let's see. From Alexander Page, do you enjoy the Swedish prog band Beardfish? Greetings from France. Yeah, I mean, I do. I have a couple of theirs. Probably need to get more, but yeah, Beardfish is good. Let's see. Are there any bands that you're surprised don't have a classic live album? Tesla comes to mind, and most thrash bands. Yeah, Metal Thrashing Madmen. Yeah, Tesla, that would be a really good one to have. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of bands that don't have classic live albums, especially like bands that started out like in the 80s. That's really weird. Nowadays, I mean, bands don't put out a lot of live albums anymore, but like in the 70s, man, if you were a popular 70s band, you didn't have a live album. It's like, what's wrong with you? It's like ZZ Top never released a live album in the 70s. What? Crazy. I mean, at least we got one from 1980 in more recent years, but Jesus. From Saga Comics, are you guys going to do a Monsters Den Star Wars ranking? Yeah, probably at some point. Yeah, because I know Chris Allo really wants to do that. I need to go rewatch a lot of them, though. Specifically like the mid-period films. I know the early ones really well, and I know the more recent ones, but the middle ones I haven't really watched in quite a while. Let's see. What else we got here? What's the most recent album that you think is a no-question 10 out of 10 classic? Like recent, like this year? Let's see. What have I heard this year that is a 10 out of 10, or as we say here, a 5 out of 5 classic? Let's see. I'm going down my list here. Bear with me, folks. I think the new Amorphous Halo is probably a 10 out of 10 classic. Absolutely love it. Let's see. The Michael Romeo War of the Worlds Part 2. If that's not a 5 out of 5 classic, it's damn close. That's just absolutely amazing. Let's see. Someone mentioned Stoner a couple minutes ago. If you haven't heard, Wofat's The Singularity. It's kind of like the stoner doom psychedelic band from Texas. That's killer. Bubble Math, really cool prog band. Turf Ascension is their new one. That's easily, I think that's a 5 out of 5 right there. The new Seventh Wonder, prog metal band from Sweden, The Testament. That's probably close to, if it's not that. What else? Yeah, I mean, there's a few. There's a few. Derek Sherinian's new album, Vortex, easy 5 out of 5 star. So there's some. There's some. What else? Let's see. Hey Pete, what next size do you find most comfortable? What neck size do you find most comfortable for your guitars? I'm a thinner neck guy. I don't have huge hands. I find that the neck on this Flying V is a little fat. I'm not crazy about it. The neck on my Les Paul Classic is a 50s neck, a little bit thick. But I like the 60s necks. My standard and my traditional are both 60s necks. The neck on the Paul Reed Smith is really thin. Love it. The neck on the Telly is thin. It's like a C neck. The neck on the SG is really wide, right? I like it, but I don't play that all the time. So yeah, I like the thinner necks as opposed to the big, wide, chunky necks. Let's see. Has Pete commented on the new Ozzy tune with Iommi yet? You know what? I haven't heard it yet. I need to go listen to it. But man, that first Ozzy song I heard from the new album, dreadful. Oof. Dreadful. Let's see. These are some of the older questions here. Let's see what we got. New Ozzy sucks. Yeah. Let's see. Ibanez do the thinnest necks. I used to have an Ibanez way back in the day. I sold that a bunch of years ago. Ibanez are good guitars. What do we got? Any album ranking for Conception? Yeah, God, Troy, I don't have enough Conception. I think I only have like the two of the early ones. Great band, though. Is there an extreme band that Ryan Scow recommended to you that you were surprised you ended up liking? Oh, man, Ryan's he's recommended a lot of bands to me over the years. He knows my sweet spot, though. Ryan's really good. Yeah, Ryan and I know each other a long time. He knows that a lot of the crazy extreme bands I'm probably not going to get into, but he's done really well with recommending me these completely obscure, like occult rock and like classic heavy metal and classic heavy proto metal, proto prog stuff that he stumbles upon because he listens to all this underground stuff from all over the globe. So every now and then he'll send me a message. If you check out this band from Czechoslovakia, they released an album 2 years ago, self-released. You can check it out on Bandcamp, and most of the times I'm like, oh, very cool. So we regularly do that with each other. We go and recommend some cool kind of really obscure stuff. He is actually in London, I believe, right now. He's in the UK, and then he's going somewhere else. He's off. Him and Nick Franco were off doing festivals and stuff like that over in Europe. Let's see. Hey, any plans for more extreme metal shows? Maybe with Ryan? Perhaps. We do them from time to time. We'll see. We can do, we got a couple of guys on the channel who we can, do some extreme metal things from time to time. Let's see. What rant episode did you have the most fun with? From Sal. I don't know, man. I think talking about the bands that I love to hate, that was a lot of fun. I don't normally like to do stuff like that, right? That's really not me, but I had a lot of fun with that one. Me just, I only do rant videos when something strikes me as like really, I read something in the music news that's just really odd and just blows my mind how ridiculous it is. That's generally when I do those. I don't just do rant videos just to do them. But I know people love seeing me get upset and get emotional. And so when the time's right, I do them. I don't make them a regular thing, but they'll come up from time to time. They always seem to. I think we need to rank the albums of Witchcraft and Cadaver. Jamie Laszlo, what's going on, my friend? Yes, we do need to do that. I can do both of those fairly soon. Those are both two really good bands that I dig quite a bit. So yeah, they're on my long list too. So all these, there's going to be lots of ranking shows coming up. So let's see. Counting Crows. Yeah, they do suck. Let's see. What else? Any interest in doing shows on different artists for this channel, like the Prince one you did a bit back? Well, I mean, Papiolo. I did the Prince ranking because I do like Prince. I'm not just going to do ranking episodes on bands or artists that fall way outside of what we do here on Sea of Tranquility if I don't like them. So in other words, I'm not going to do a ranking show on The Cure. I'm not going to do a ranking show on REM or a Bob Dylan and Green Day and stuff like that. Got to be bands that I at least give a shit about and know something about. So the Prince one I did because I dig Prince. Armando, who did it with me, is a big Prince fan as well. So I said, you know what? I know there are people who like Prince. Great musician. You may not always like his music, but I thought he was worthwhile doing. Let's see. So what else we got here? Do you like the thrash band Coroner from the Kivster? You know what? I've heard some. That's one of those bands that I know everybody who likes thrash and extreme metal loves Coroner. I have just never really listened to Coroner other than a few songs here and there. Just can't listen to everybody. Hundreds and hundreds of bands that I have bought and listened to. That just happens to be one that I never have. I probably should just rectify that and go out and get a couple Coroner albums because I know everybody seems to love them. Did I ever meet Ronnie James Dio from Sam Squatch 67? Unfortunately, no. I would have loved to. From Chris Flood. Do you ever drink Utica Club beer? I don't drink it now. Have I drank Utica Club beer? Yes. I have probably drank in my life every shitty New York State beer that has ever been made. So, yeah. Utica Club, not the worst thing in the world. But, ironically enough, I never see it around here. We actually drove by a couple months ago. We were going upstate, and we drove right through Utica, and drove by the brewery and everything like that, which is pretty neat. But yeah, I haven't had it in a million years. Let's see. D.W. Duffy, thank you so much. What is a band album you love that you're sick and tired of talking about and choose not to? A band that I love that I'm sick of talking about. Well, I mean, I love talking about all, these bands, but I mean, after a while, you get to a point where you're like, how much more can I talk about Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and Yes? And, it's like you run out of things to say, although I seem like I can never run out of things to say about Black Sabbath and Purple and, but I talk a lot about Rush. So, sometimes I can, I get to a point where like, all right, I've talked about these same bands so much, like in a span of like 6 months. I need to not do any programs where we talk about those bands for a while. And then you feel rejuvenated and you want to talk about them again. So I wouldn't say there's any one that I I'm to the point where I don't want to talk about them anymore, but I do get like a little burnout on talking about certain bands. I definitely do. But then I always, you get to a point like, okay, now I can talk about them again. Jackson Jones, have you ever checked out the band Death Angel? Yeah, I mean, that's another band that I was into quite a bit in the 80s and then kind of stopped following them for a while. And I've heard the last couple albums are really good. So could I rank their discography at some point? Probably. I would just need to get reacquainted with their albums again. But yeah, I've seen them live many times, and I bought their first couple albums on LP back in the day, and saw them back then, and I've seen them in more recent years. So good band. Can you do a drummer focused SOT series from High Number? Well, I mean, I've done a lot of drummer shows, favorite drummers and things like that. There have been numerous ones, so I don't know if I want to do a whole series. And again, I'm not a drummer. I know very little about how to play drums and drummers in general. So I'm probably not the right person to do a full series on drummers, but we've done plenty of shows about our favorite drummers and things like that. So go check the playlist and do a search here. Let's see. Oh, geez, boy, it's hard. Let's see. Ranking shitty beers from New York? Yeah, that'd be fun. Am I familiar with the power metal band Brainstorm from Germany? Hell yeah. Andy Frank and Company. Yeah, I like Brainstorm quite a bit. I have a lot of their albums. I don't know if I have all of them. They're on my list of rankings to do as well. Great band. I really like Brainstorm a lot. I really like them a lot. Do I drink Diet Pepsi from Matt Horan? I don't drink soda at all. So no, I don't drink Diet Pepsi. You know what I drink? I drink water. I drink unsweetened iced tea that I make myself, and I drink beer. That's basically it. And almond milk. That's all I drink. I don't drink anything else. The Republic of Tea, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know that at any given time, I have at least 12 to 15 canisters of the Republic of Tea in my cabinet, in my kitchen, and I make my own iced tea out of that. And I probably go through like a 2-quart container every 4 days or something like that. And I just keep making them. My wife and I are addicted to iced tea. We make 2 different batches because she likes hers sweetened. I don't. So we buy all sorts of different flavors, green tea, black tea with, blackberry, raspberry, mango, mint green tea, all sorts of stuff. I'm a huge, huge fan of iced tea, especially unsweetened iced tea. But no, I don't drink soda. I haven't drank soda in a million years. Let's see. What rock star did you meet you were most impressed with? I'm assuming you mean in person, Alder 456. Geez, in person, the most impressed with. Steve Hackett impressed the hell out of me. He was such a super nice guy. Steve Hackett, former guitarist from Genesis. Really cool. Derek Scholman and Gary Green from Gentle Giant were just lovely people, tremendous to me. Mick Box from Uriah Heep and Davey Rimmer from Uriah Heep. Actually, the whole Uriah Heep crew, such nice guys. So nice to me, and just they keep in touch with me, and they're really, really cool people. The list goes on and on. I've met a lot of really cool rock stars over the years. As far as like who I've talked to, who I've met virtually, God, Andy Powell from Wishbone Ashes is a terrific, terrific guy, and I'm looking forward to sitting down with him at SOT Fall Fest in 2 months. And Dennis DeYoung was really cool with me. A lot of guys. There's a lot of them. The thing is, most of these rock stars that I've met anyway, they're just people like us. Yeah, I met a few here and there who were just, they seem like they're above that, but most of them are just normal people, which is really cool to see. Genesee Cream Ale from High Number. Man, that is the first beer I ever got drunk on in my life. Believe it or not. Way back when. That was so long ago. I wasn't even legal to drive yet. Yeah, you know what? I can still drink Genesee. I don't really have an issue with it. Every now and then I buy it just as a little nostalgia thing. Let's see. Could you do a Hudson Valley Square show of favorite hard rock and metal school rock songs from bands in September? Rock and metal school rock songs. Metal school. I'm not quite sure what you mean by school rock. I don't really know what you mean, John the Dark Wizard. What else we got here? Have you heard the Swedish epic doom metal band Sorcerer? I have not, Remax. All right, what else we got here? Your thoughts on Lars Ulrich being bad, from Keith Richards. Being bad how? I don't know. Being bad, like being a bad drummer, being a bad human being? I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Lars's drumming. He's okay. I love old school Metallica, but I don't know Lars personally, so I don't know. From Justin Havu, Lee Ritenour ranking. That'd be a fun one. I mean, he's got 1 million albums, though, Justin. I love Lee Ritenour. Great guitar player. I got a bunch, but there's so many of them. How about Horse Lips or 12th Night? I don't have anything, nor have I heard any albums by Horse Lips. 12th Night, I believe I have the whole catalog, I think. From Todd Bostic, when are you going to make it to the St. Louis area? I've never been to St. Louis. Would I love to go? Sure. Maybe someday. Maybe when I start traveling again for work, we'll see. From Damon 679, Brainstorm is like death power metal. Cool band. You must be thinking about the different Brainstorm. Brainstorm are not death metal at all. They're just a melodic power metal band. There's no death metal going on there. From Jarth Vader, have you seen live Purple Clips with Simon McBride? Thoughts on that and more sleeping? Oh, we talked about that at the top of the hour. I've seen a couple of clips. Really good player. I don't really know much about him. They seem to be fitting in quite good. We're going to miss Steve. But you know what? He's got to go take care of his wife. I mean, I commend him for that. So, he's been in Purple now 28 years. Maybe it's his time, right? Maybe it's time. So, have I ever heard doom metal band Coven? Yes, indeed. Very good stuff. How about a Monsters Den show ranking the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies? Whoo, that's a lot of movies, man. Just the mops. Would I love to do that someday? Certainly. But, the problem is you do a ranking show and then five more movies come out. So I think it would be better to do like a top 10 Marvel Cinematic Universe films. I think that'd be a little more feasible. There's just too many other movies. That'd be a 10-hour show. But top 10, that we can do. We've actually, if for those of you, how many people here by raise of hands are subscribed to and follow my other channel, Comic Book Geezers? If you have any interest at all in the Marvel movies or old comics from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, man, that's what we talk about over there. Myself and my co-host Wild Bill, as well as Kirk Manning, appears over there. Chris Allo, Craig Kaminsky, and Rich Catino appear over there every now and then. So please go search after you get done here. Go search Comic Book Geezers here on YouTube, and please show us some love. Hit us up with subscribe. We're struggling for subscribers over there. That's a newer channel than this, but still, we have lots of fun over there. So it's a fun show. A lot of laughs and showing off old comic books. But anyway, back to your question. Yeah, we actually Bill and I have talked about doing that on Comic Book Geezers, but we may do that on the Monsters Den as well. Let's see. Thoughts on Anthrax doing Only on the current tour? I like Only, actually. Good song. So a chat with Sinatra or Lemmy from Motorhead. Like, who would I want to sit down with? I mean, it'd be cool to sit down with Sinatra, but Lemmy all the way, man. Lemmy all the way. Bands that you have a love-hate relationship with. Bands that I love to hate. I don't know. I mean, I either love them or I don't. I don't know if I have any bands. If I don't like them, I don't like them. Right? You know, like for instance, like Guns N' Roses. I don't love Guns N' Roses. I don't like them. There's no love-hate there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a love-hate thing with any band. Let's see. Hi, P from Belfast, Northern Ireland. 2 a.m. here. Which video was it that Simon Bray first describes John Parr's hands? Oh, my God. Wow. That's from Rob Fulton. That was, I believe, the show called You Saw Who? I believe that was the title of that one. So in other words, like, it's all about the bands that what you actually saw them. I think that's the one. So go check that one out. I believe that's where it started. The whole classic. That was a classic bit. One of the best that's ever happened here on the channel. Let's see. Have you heard the band Death from the 70s? They were three black brothers. No, I'd never even heard of them until I started doing the Power Trio month, and then a couple people kind of put some comments in there. I have not heard them at all. I probably should go check them out. Hold on, let me just get rid of a spam troller here. There we go. All right, what else we got? Where are we going here? Kevin Shirley versus Martin Birch. Martin Birch every day of the week. My thoughts on In Flames' Fall from Grace from Keith Richards. Yeah, man, I used to love In Flames. Their last handful of albums are fucking awful. Just generic sounding crap that any metalcore band in North America could have done. In Flames early on were so groundbreaking. I've actually been talking to Nick Franco about doing an In Flames ranking for quite a bit, so that'll happen at some point too. The old stuff is great, but man, their last like 3-4 albums, oof, no thanks. All right, what else we got here? All right. Yeah, Rick, I just commented on the Simon McBride thing. Let's see. Hottest chick in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Hottest? From George LeMay. I think Elizabeth Olsen is totally hot. Who plays Scarlet Witch. Yeah. There you have it. I think she's hotter than Scarlett Johansson. I think so anyway. Did I hear about the James Gang reunion from Little Deader? No, another one? I know they did one like a number of years ago. I'd pay to see that. I love the James Gang. So yeah, I'd pay to see that. So I'm assuming that's the classic 3-piece, right? I would pay to see that. Deacon of Beacon, prog or metal? What's my favorite genre out of all the stuff we cover? I don't know. I probably lean a little bit more to metal. I probably actually lean a little bit more to hard rock than I do metal or prog, but I love all three. So love all three. From D told me Dark Tranquility better than In Flames for you. Yeah, I mean, overall, hell yeah. I think if you look at their entire careers, Dark Tranquility is definitely, I prefer if you look at the whole discography. I think the first like 6 In Flames albums, though, are probably stronger than the Dark Tranquility ones. But if you look at their whole career, absolutely. From Green Sombrero, do I like buffalo chicken wings? I'm not an enormous chicken wing guy. I can eat them. I don't mind buffalo wings if they're made right every now and then, but that's not really my go-to food. Let's see. From Marco, are you a big America Chavez fan? I'm not. Nah. Honestly, not really even familiar much at all. Let's see. Can I borrow Chris Allo's Mr. Skin account? You'd have to ask him, man. Is there a band that I wish did one more album? From Debbie. One more album. That could still do an album? I would still like to hear another Black Sabbath record. Yeah, there you have it. I Black Sabbath, one of my favorite bands of all time. I want to keep hearing more Black Sabbath. From Kyle, do you prefer Firepower or Senjutsu? Firepower. I like Senjutsu, but Firepower without a doubt. Thoughts on Ted Nugent and State of Shock? I think State of Shock is a very good album from Nugent, and I love a good chunk of Nugent's catalog. In fact, you're going to get a review of his new one on Wednesday here on the channel. State of Shock is good. I like those late 70s albums from him. The 70s albums are great. You know, the rest of his catalog is kind of spotty, but those early things are awesome. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. I heard that Simon and Steven are down doing least favorite Toto show. Are you, though? Of course. They haven't told me that, but unless they're saying it on Twitter. Those two guys, those Twitter hounds, Simon and Steven. I love Toto, so I am totally down for that. From Pulsar Lights, a Triumph reunion. From what I've heard, that's never going to happen. That's what I've heard. From Marlon Hill, do I own any of Kerry Livgren's solo albums? I do not. I don't know why. I just don't. Who is my favorite modern vocalist in metal? I would say I love Bjorn Landy. I think he's absolutely terrific. There's a lot of other guys that are really good. Dino Gillespie is quite good. Russell Allen is amazing in Symphony X. A lot of really good guys. Did you turn Ryan onto BOC? Seems out of his pocket. I don't think I did. I think Ryan's a bit younger than me. I think he just got into them late. He loves them. Absolutely loves Blue Oyster Cult, which is good. From Jeremy Wilcox, would you ever go see a wrestling show with Chris Allo? I probably would. That's the guy who I haven't seen a wrestling show live since like 1989 at Madison Square Garden. I saw Randy Macho Man Savage against the Ultimate Warrior. That was the only time I've ever seen a live wrestling card. And I was a wrestling fan from like the late 70s up until about like 10 years ago. I just stopped watching wrestling. I got to a point where it's like, my wife hates it. And I just got to a point where I was like, I got other things to do. I still kind of follow along what's going on in wrestling. I just don't watch it. Would it be fun to go see like an AEW event with Chris? Probably, because he is so into it. So I probably will do that one of these days. Hopefully my wife doesn't hear that. She'd be like, oh, really? Would you do that? Jackson Jones, I think ranking the album covers of bands like Iron Maiden, Dio, Yes would be a cool series to do with Martin Popoff. Ranking the album covers. Wow, I kind of like that. Hold on. I like that idea. Ranking the album covers. That is splendid. I think Martin would be very interested in that. And I think I could probably talk the Hudson Valley Squares into doing that for certain bands. So thank you for that. Jackson Jones, thank you. Let's see. What else we got here? Do you still get the olds? That can only be Nick Yusofi. And Nick, I started reading your comment, your question before I even looked at the name. I haven't suffered from it outside of the K-On box set on the Curse of the Collector's video. You still can't open it. After all these weeks, man, you got to unglue the glue, Nick. I get the olds every day, actually. Every day. Unfortunately, it's just the way of the world. Did the channel get its name from the Billy Cobham song from Joe LeMary? No, I do not believe so. But it's actually the name goes back to the 90s when we were a print magazine back in the 90s. I didn't create the print magazine. I came on board like a year into it, and I didn't create the name of the magazine or the webzine. But I carried on with it when I took it over in 2001. So, but it's got nothing to do with Billy Cobham. Will Whitesnake go on without David Coverdale? Well, Matthias, that is a great question. And that actually came up just the other day. I was at the Orange County Fair at Steve Keeler Rock Fantasy's 36th anniversary celebration. And that came up in a conversation. I met a couple of fans who watch the channel. One was from Boston, one was from the UK who were there. And as soon as I walked in, they ran up to me to introduce themselves. And we were talking about that. And, the fact that Whitesnake and Coverdale have Dino touring with them, who's an amazing singer. He's doing all these projects. He's probably got lots of things going on. The fact that they have him playing keyboards and singing backup vocals is a little suspicious to me. So I sometimes wonder if Coverdale is going to retire from the band and turn the reins over to Dino and keep the rest of the guys. I wonder, because it's, we've heard other bands talk about doing that. And I don't see any reason why Dino would do that tour unless that might be the case. It just doesn't seem to make any sense to me. So we'll see. Let's see. What else we got here? What time is it? Just it's 9:15. So we'll go to 9:30 today. Let's see what we got. Do I hear Earthless frequently from Nick Santos? As often as I put them in my CD player. I actually, funny you ask, because I am listening. I have Earthless, one of the Earthless live albums, playing in my Forerunner as we speak. Was listening to them driving around town today. Do I burn CDs? I personally? Not really, unless someone asks me for something. I have a couple friends who don't really buy CDs but love music, so they know I have a lot of my stuff on iTunes. So like, oh, if I give you a couple blank CDs, can you burn me this album? And I will do that if they ask me to, but it's not something I regularly do. No. Let's see what else we got here. More ranking of extreme metal bands. Yeah, there's more coming. There's more coming. Got a lot of them on my list, so you'll see some. There's going to be some black metal stuff coming up, some death metal bands. Yep, there are a lot. My list of potential ranking the album shows, guys, is huge. So for those of you who were like, oh, Pete stopped doing them because he ran out of bands to rank. Nope, not the case. I just stopped doing them regularly because we had so much other shit going on. I still have been doing them. I just haven't been doing them as often as I want to. Ann or Nancy Wilson? Well, Nancy's hotter. Nancy's got the voice. Ann's got the voice, so I don't know. I like them together though, but they're both amazing. What else? Coverdale Page album is 30 years old next year. I hope we get a deluxe edition. If it's got some extra stuff on it, I would hope so too. Favorite bootleg release from Terry Wachter? I don't know, man. I really like that. I picked up Led Zeppelin Live Blueberry Hill, I think it's called, from the Forum, 1970 or whatever. That's amazing. That's really good. I have all sorts of other bootleg things. I got some Hendrix stuff and all sorts of things. Recently, I've been listening to Deep Purple live in Japan from 1993 with Joe Satriani. Thank you, George LeMay. That's killer as well. One of the few things I never got from them. New Pantera thoughts. Well, I think if it's a one and done thing, merely set up as a tribute to the Abbott brothers, and they go out, they do the tour, and they call it a day, I'd like to see it, just because I'd like to hear some of those songs live for one last time. So I will go. If they're interested in just calling it Pantera and doing it beyond then, I don't know about that. But just as a one and done tribute tour, just so we can experience those songs again and remember the greatness of the Abbott brothers, then I'm interested in going to that. What kind of car do you drive? From Philip J. I just said not 2 minutes ago that I drive a Toyota 4Runner. Ranking Black Label Society from Rob Fulton. We have already done that, my friend. Look in the playlist. Favorite Italian horror director? Probably Dario Argento. Although he's had kind of a spotty career of late, but his classic films, I think, edge out. I love Fulci's films, but I think I like Argento's more, and Bava's films are amazing. Lenzi's got some great films. Sergio Leone's got some fantastic films. I love the giallos he's done. There's a lot of them, but I think Argento's probably my favorite. Have I heard Burning Witches? Yes, I have heard a little Burning Witches. Good band. Unleash the Archers. I heard the one album by them. Pretty good. Let's see. Man. Holy cow. Black Star Riders. Is Edward Van Halen top 10? Top 10 what? My favorite guitar players of all time? Or as far as who I think the greatest guitar players who ever lived? It's two separate questions. Is he one of the 10 greatest who ever lived? Most influential? Without a doubt. Is he a top 10 favorite of mine throughout my life? Not quite. I like a lot of other players better. But was he absolutely amazing and groundbreaking and all that stuff? Sure. But I have other guys I like a little bit more. Will we ever get a ranking the albums of Meatloaf? Yeah, we kind of just didn't do that. Yeah, Simon and I will do that at some point. We'll get back to that. Favorite Moody Blues album? Probably the Chord album, I guess. But a lot of those albums that they released right around that, that 5-year stretch, they're all equally great. I always kind of go back and forth, but Search of the Lost Chord generally rises up for me, but it changes all the time. What else we got? Let's see. Any Japanese bands you like? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm listening to a Japanese band right now called Fragile. Great instrumental fusion power trio. Check them out if you haven't already. Thank you, George LeMay, for turning me on to those guys. Really good. What is your favorite Hammer horror screen queen? Oh, I mean, that's got to be, you know, I'm drawing a blank. See, you asked me if I got the olds. I'm drawing a complete blank right now. Blonde. Come on, Pete. Jesus Christ. What the fuck is her name? Hold on. I'll tell you in a second because, of course, I can't just, not. What is her name? I know you guys will probably mention it in the comments. Hold on. It's getting late, guys. That's why I'm kind of like. Is anybody saying I'm drawing a complete blank? Barbara Steele? Nah, she's not really a Hammer. God, what is her name? Hold on. She's in Vampire Lovers. I'm picturing her right in the hell is her name? Ingrid Pitt. God, I just lost my my horror cards right there. Ingrid Pitt is probably my favorite. But yeah, there's so many. Madeline Smith is another one. But there's so many great Hammer horror screen queen. God, how could I forget Ingrid Pitt's name? See, I told you guys, I got the olds. Let's see. What else? Why do you dislike System of a Down from Ram Ram? I don't really dislike them. I don't really like them much either. They got some good songs. I liked them for a few years, but I never listened to them anymore. Just not really my cup of tea. What else? Curious of your opinions on any bands in the jam band genre. I know you like Fish and Widespread Panic. I like Mo. Honestly, I just haven't listened to enough of that stuff. There's so many bands. Hope we get a Goblin album ranking soon. Is that possible from the Music Aspie? Possibly. They don't have a lot of albums. There's a lot of soundtrack stuff. So I'd have to figure out how I want to do that. Carolyn Monroe. Yes. Carolyn Monroe. She hasn't been in enough Hammer films, but she's been in a few of them. Overall, yeah, her and Ingrid Pitt by far are the two greatest. Totally greatest. Let's see. Will I do a favorite haunted house horror movies ranking on the Monsters then? I thought we did our favorite haunted house. I think we did that already, Mike, quite a while ago. I think we've done like a favorite haunted house films. Just check the playlist, I'm pretty sure. The Metallion, your thoughts on Steve Morse leaving Deep Purple? I've talked about it 3 times already on this show. All right, you'll have to go watch the replay. I'm not going to keep repeating the same answers over and over again. Let's see. Have my opinion changed on the latest Porcupine Tree album? I just posted a review on our webzine just yesterday. So go read my review. It's very favorable. I liked it when it first came out. When we did the review here on the channel, I liked it. I still like it. I dig it. It's really good. Let's see. Did the Stranglers ranking inspire you to check out any more punk bands such as The Jam? Nope, probably not. Have you ever thought about ranking the albums of power metal band Bloodbound from Metal Thrashing Madman? I don't know. I don't have all their albums, so I only have 3 or 4 of them. So I know they've got a bit more than that. Ever heard of the band Leprous? Yep, we talked about Leprous here on the channel. I liked Leprous much more early on. I really have not enjoyed their last couple albums. The first 3 are amazing. The last couple, not as much. Let's see. What else we got here? Who are my wife's favorite bands and artists? She's not much of a rock fan. She likes more kind of modern country and, dance music and pop music and Spanish music and that sort of thing. But if the rock bands, she likes Journey. She likes Foreigner. She likes Lynyrd Skynyrd. She likes Queen. She likes a little bit of Styx, a little bit REO Speedwagon, that sort of thing. Doobie Brothers, she can deal with that sort of stuff. But prog, forget it. Hard rock and metal, for the most part, forget it. What else we got here? What else? As far as a Venom ranking, that's coming real soon. Chris Allo and I are hoping to do that within the next week or 2. So that's coming. You will have a Venom ranking very soon. Let's see. What else we got? Do I think Jeff Beck should have done more Fusion albums after There and Back? Yeah, of course. More Fusion from Jeff? Absolutely. Santana album rankings with you and Martin? No, I've already done a Santana album ranking here on the channel. That's been a while. Let's see. Biggest turd releases from bands you otherwise love. Jesus. How about the Ladder from Yes? Naturally, Open Your Eyes from Yes. Terrible. Let's see. What else? As you know, I'm not a fan of Never Say Die from Black Sabbath. Biggest turd from bands that I really love. Let's see. We Can't Dance from Genesis. I mean, there's tons of them. There's tons. The Astonishing from Dream Theater. God. Those two Ripper Owens albums from Judas Priest, not a big fan. The two albums with Blaze from Maiden, not a fan. Let's see. I'm sure there's others. I could spend a whole day talking about that. Does Rush have any female fans? Sure they do. Maybe not a lot, but I've been to plenty of Rush shows. There's female fans in the audience, whether they are the significant others and got dragged there by their male counterparts or not, I don't know. But yeah, you know. Let's see. Hold on here. What is the most overrated rock band in your opinion? Most overrated? I mean, I've already said that a million times. I think Guns N' Roses are very overrated. They've got that one legendary first album. I don't deny its significance. You know, how much have they done after that? I don't know. I think they're a little overrated. I find Nirvana a little overrated. I find REM overrated. Yeah, I could list a lot of overrated artists and bands, but doesn't mean that, you know, the rest of the world doesn't like them. Do I watch college football? No, I don't watch football at all, actually. I'm not a huge sports fan. I love my baseball. I love my boxing. I watch tennis occasionally, but really haven't much in many years. It's really baseball and boxing are really the only sports that I watch. Let's see. Ranking favorite soundtrack albums. I'm not a huge fan of soundtrack albums. I have very few of them. So yeah. Eye to Eye from the Scorpions, a major turd. Yeah, it's not a very good album. What else? What else we got here? Are you going to any of the Kansas Ambrosia shows? I don't know if they're playing here in my area. I haven't checked I generally get I'm on the email list of Kansas, so I usually get all the updates on their tours, but I haven't seen if they're playing anywhere real close to me. Would I like to go to that? Yeah, because I've never seen Ambrosia, actually. From Lawrence Fine, what do you think of Slipknot? You know, I don't hate Slipknot. I don't regularly listen to them. You know, I've seen them live a bunch of times. They're good live. They're different. You know, it's the whole new metal thing is not really my scene anymore, but I was kind of into them for a while, but I don't go out of my way to listen to them now. Let's see what else we got here. You rank the Black Label Society songs, not their albums. Really? I'm almost positive that I did a ranking the albums of them. If not, I could probably do it fairly quickly, but I'm almost positive I did. Will Ambrosia play their first two albums? I don't know. Those first two albums are amazing, right? Let's see. What else we got? Where did you rank live in YYZ as far as their live albums? I'm not quite sure what you're asking there. Do you know the band Truth and Janie? Yes, I do. Have you ranked the Offspring albums? I'm not a fan. Sorry, you're not seeing that here. Let's see. Have you ever seen the Island of Dr. Moreau film adaptation, Island of Lost Souls? Yes, of course. Sitting right down there, as a matter of fact. It's amazing. Love that film. Mike hates the Beatles. Well, sorry for you then. Let's see. What else we got here? Heard of the band Manimal? Yes, indeed. I think I reviewed their most recent album and the one before that. Really good band. Have I heard the new Evanescence album? I have not. Not much of a fan, to be honest. Better bio for a movie, Randy Rhoads or Jason Becker? Oh, that's interesting. Well, I mean, you know, the Jason Becker thing is interesting because he had a really cool career before he got sick, and I'm amazed. Jason has lived all this time with ALS, which I think he's got to be on record as the human being who's had it the longest, right? I just, you know, I don't know. Would it be cool? I would love to see both, right? I mean, you know, the Randy Rhoads would be awesome, I think, too. Such a short career, but yeah, I don't know. I think the Randy would be cooler because, he did so much in such a short time. Not that Jason didn't. Jason's had the more tragic life alive, right? Randy had the tragic end to his young life. So I don't know. Mark McLeod, planning on seeing the BOC 50th shows? Yeah, I think I'm going to go to. I'm torn because they're playing a couple shows in New York City where they're doing like full albums, and then they're playing a show locally here in Middletown, New York, in November, which might just be another kind of greatest hits show, which I've seen that enough times. So I'll have to see like when the shows are that are in the city and see if it's worth me going to one of those or just seeing the local show again. So I don't know. I haven't figured it out. Dave Clark 5 versus the Tremolos. Who will win? Who will win what? John Magdaleno? I don't know what you're asking. In one of the In one of the shows you did, I hate when this thing jumps around like this. What was that? In one of the shows you did, what does it say? Man, there's so many questions come in. Which of your favorite guitarists would you like to jam with, and what song would you like to do with that guitarist? I would like to jam with Tony Iommi doing any song, Sal. Doesn't matter. Anything. Tony's the man. Let's see. If you went to Watkins Glen, who would you like to see live? The Grateful Dead, the Allman Brothers Band, or the band? If I could only pick to see one of them, well, it wouldn't be the band because I'm not really much of a fan. I mean, the Allmans, but I'm sure the Grateful Dead were a sight to behold at that time. So probably the Dead, because I've seen the Allmans a million times. What is Ken Golden's hi-fi system? I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I haven't been to his house yet. So let's see. Have I ever considered ranking the albums of your In the Prog Seat buddy Louis Nasser's band Sonus Umbra? It might be interesting to have him rank them. Yeah, but I mean, I think there's only 2, maybe 3. So, I mean, possibly. But yeah, then we go to do that, and they'll come out with another one. Any chance of a favorite Coltrane albums like the most recent Miles Davis show? Yeah, I've been talking to Mike Antonelli about doing that. So we'll do that at some point. Maybe in the fall. When did you stop collecting vinyl and made the switch to CDs? 1989. Long time ago. Favorite horror video game? I'm not a video game person. You're asking the wrong person there. Fan of the Joe Perry Project? Yeah. First 2 albums are really good. What's my favorite slasher flick? I mean, the ultimate. It's probably like Halloween, right? But there's a lot of good ones. We've done, actually, if you go check out the Monsters Den playlist. We've done a couple shows on our favorite slasher films. So go check that out. Let's see. What else we got here? Has Butch Jones gotten you into listening to the band Big Wreck? No. I saw Big Wreck live once, and I really didn't like them at all. I know a lot of people seem to dig them, but they just never really did a lot for me. Maybe I should go revisit. From Cul-de-sac, YouTube Bug Gaming, would love to hear your thoughts on Better Call Saul. I love Better Call Saul. In fact, I am missing the first half hour to be with you guys right now, the new episode. Yeah, I love Better Call Saul. There are times where I think that I'm even enjoying it more than Breaking Bad, and I love Breaking Bad. I really love Odenkirk as an actor, and I really love the Better Call Saul character, and I love the Kim Wexler character. And I think that this whole series has really shown some great insights into those 2 characters in a big way. I really, really enjoy the show. I'm going to be sad to see it go. Let's see. What else? And we are at 9:32. So I'm going to answer one more question here, and then we're going to go here. Let's see. What do we got here? What do we got? All right, here we go. This is a great one. Do you watch mob movies at all? Yeah, I'm a big mob movie fan. I love The Godfather, especially the first 2. I love Goodfellas. I love Mean Streets. I love Raging Bull. Raging Bull is one of my all-time favorite films, and to me, that's really a mob film with about a boxer. Yeah, I love mob movies. So yeah, I'm a huge, huge fan. Have I seen The Boys? Yes, I just need to start watching the new season, but I've seen the first 2. What else? Lastly, what do I think of Ozric Tentacles? I like Ozric Tentacles quite a bit. Great band, really cool band. If you haven't listened to them, really cool, like instrumental, kind of psychedelic space rock type of band. Really, really good stuff. There we go. That's all we got. So I'm going to bid you all a good night. And thanks for watching this Q&A episode. And what's going to happen to Kim Wexler? Well, if you watched last week's episode, you saw. I'm hoping they bring her back. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, thanks. You got it. You're all very welcome. I enjoy doing these every so often. So it just so happened that, a good majority of the Hudson Valley Squares folks would not have been able to come on tonight. So I figured, let me just do a Q&A show and rattle off as many answers to your questions and stuff as I possibly can. And, yeah, we'll see you again, hopefully in a couple of weeks with another one of these. But stay tuned tomorrow for In the Prog Seat as we continue our look at the alphabet and talking about our favorite bands. We are at B. We're just getting started, right? So we're at the letter B tomorrow. So we'll all be talking about our favorite 3 bands that start with the letter B that are prog metal fusion artists, right? So that's coming up tomorrow. And to the guy who keeps constant with the Dave Clark 5, I don't know why you're here on Sea of Tranquility, constantly asking about the Dave Clark 5. Unbelievable. Some people, right? So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Everybody say it all the damn time, right? Hey, we've got 331 upvotes, but there are almost 450 people on here. So if you haven't clicked on that like button, please do it now. I want to see that shoot up over 400 in the next 10, 20 seconds. So do that. Come on, everybody. I know a lot of you haven't done that yet. So keep going on there. And, we'll see you later on here on the channel with more stuff. If you want to subscribe to the channel and you haven't already, please do that and click on that notification bell and all that good stuff. And we'll see you tomorrow morning with another of my must-hear bands of the 21st century. And, of course, In the Prog Seat tomorrow night. So thanks for watching, everybody. I am Pete Pardo. Good night, all. Bye-bye.